Hey nerds! It's Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Exclusive tabletop game podcast for the Pacific Northwest. All levels of gamers. Analog gaming. Tabletop news. Dungeons and Dragons and magic. Stupid, mindless banter.
There will definitely be some. That's probably our best. That's our best feature.
Hey geeks, Blue Samurai here, and I am with
Rebeculous, and I am with
I'm still Paul.
that guy.
and you are listening to Geeks at Cascadia, episode 74. Yay!
Really? Is that all it is?
Oh my
And,
stars!
by the way, the last podcast of ours was about 6 months ago. We apologize.
Sorry about that.
There's
Things
been
happen.
COVID and stuff. So
Yeah.
We talked about large gatherings of people, and there haven't been.
Well, that's where we get most of our content is at cons. When there's no cons, we tend not to get content.
Exactly.
Though other podcasts seem to do fine and well, and ours not so much. So, things happen. But we got a great show for you today because we've got Amy Gembala with Dragonflight, and so she will be talking about what's going to happen at Dragonflight. If I'm going to knock on wood, if it still is going to happen, because
A small disclaimer: we recorded this interview prior to the Delta variant.
yes,
Wait, it's
no,
Lambda
Delta.
now, isn't it? Isn't it the Lambda now? I don't know.
We're still in Delta.
Okay.
And,
What are you, a frat house? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
It's this Illuminati Delta thing.
Wow, you're not really supposed to talk about it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
They're gonna kick you
We'll
out
delete
now.
This portion of the podcast where I talk about where I'm part of the Illuminati.
So I'm looking right now. at the dragonflight.org. That's, by the way, that's where you get your information about Dragonflight, and seeing if they've changed. But it looks like it has not. So it's still on.
Cool.
So far,
29 through October 29th through the 31st at the Bellevue Hilton. Make sure to go to dragonflight.org to get your tickets and register. And go to the Bellevue Hilton, and you can get a special discount for booking your hotel there. So it's
What, like
pretty
50%?
good.
Like a 50% discount? Like that?
I know
Special?
I don't know. I'm going to click on there right now. Oh, and by the way, while I'm doing that, Paul or Rebeculous, can you tell everyone how you get a hold of us?
oh, you can go to our no. Which podcast is this? I have no idea.
Paul,
we have
and his home number
is geeksofcascadia@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, which we almost never use, I'm sorry, because of the pandemic, which is at Geeks of Cascadia. We have a Facebook group page thing, which is Geeks of Cascadia. We have a phone number that I think Google turned off.
Instagram, TikTok. We have a TikTok video that Paul
we should
makes
do a
weekly.
TikTok. You should do a TikTok. Rebecca,
I could do it. I could do a TikTok.
do the TikTok. Yes.
I could. I will.
So I did find the site. It looks like hotel rooms are still available. So we've got ranging from $129 to $139.
And if you mention Blue Samurai, you get
Nothing off.
maybe a free cup of coffee, maybe a laugh in the face.
But Geeks of Cascadia will be there. We'll be
Yes.
there.
Oh, we'll so be there.
Depending on things. The
Yeah.
Delta
Did you
variant.
get your room, Rebeculous? I got my room.
I
Paul got his room.
am in the process of breaking it to my wife that I will be getting a room. That takes a little bit of time.
I
So
know.
yes,
Well,
my answer is yes. My long answer is yes.
I'm going to text her right now.
She's
well,
cleaning the
don't-
house.
Don't
so
wait too long
What?
on the room. Otherwise, you will not have a room to stay in.
I will sleep on Paul's floor. if I have
Yeah.
to.
Sure.
I might.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. There's
And
extra
that's an
bedroom
option
room.
for everybody. You can just sleep on still Paul's
Sleep
floor.
on
Yeah,
my
or-
floor.
yeah.
Because my boys aren't coming. There'll be an extra
Aw.
bed and a
None of
and a
them.
couch that pulls out. To
None of them.
They're busy.
That's
They're
a bummer.
busy. They're
That's a
doing
bummer.
military stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Secret mission
They're
stuff.
over now.
I like your boys. I like them better than I like you. They're great.
They're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're awesome.
Absolutely.
But while this was going on, while we've been away, there's still been game news and con news.
Absolutely.
But not much con news. Paul, you probably don't have any con news.
I have a little bit of con news.
Oh, go ahead.
I put a bunch of work into trying to find things that were actually happening. And there's going to be a Grit City comic show.
I just like the way that sounds. Grit City.
It's October 9th. Is one day in Tacoma at the convention center. It's like $5 in advance, $10 at the door. And as you might imagine, it's a comic show, so there's comics. Not stand-up comics, but comic books.
I was actually wondering that. Is that like all comics, like stuff, or is it just kind of, would that be like kind of retro stuff?
Any sort of comic book thing. I was confusing at the beginning. It's not like Andrew Dice Clay, Hickory Dickory Dock.
I'd pay the $10 just for that.
This is comic books.
Okay.
And it's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Tacoma at the convention center, October 9th.
Is Tacoma referred to as Grit City? Is that a nickname that I am? Is it because there's a lot of grit down there?
It seems nice to me. They have lots of 7-Elevens.
We have grit here, so I don't. Anyway, that's another topic.
This will be on the screen if you're watching. GritCityComicShow.com. And that is part of actually Jet City Comic Show. So that's happening. And also the other thing that I found in Idaho, the actual Idaho, not my own Idaho.
There's a gun show.
No,
there's something in Idaho.
Mr. It's the Lake City Comic Con. Another Comic Con's happening in Idaho, October 16th. General admission is 10:30 to 5 p.m. I don't know what the price is. It's in Coeur d'Alene. Is
that the capital? That's the capital, right?
No,
it's not. Oh, Boise.
Okay.
I didn't do so well in school.
I was
in
born
the geography
and drunk
part.
in the Princess Theater in Pocatello, Idaho.
Wow.
Oh wait, no, that was my wife, my first wife.
Wow.
No, that was Judy Garland. I'm confused now.
And that's the con news.
That's the con news.
Oh.
Is that really the con news?
That's really all that's going on. We have coming up in January. We have OrcaCon.
Oh, okay.
That is happening in 152 days, 18 hours, 37 minutes, and 23 seconds.
And this year there will be a live orca, right? Like you promised last year.
Well, it's like we slice them off when you want to eat. Yeah.
Orca burgers.
Yes, orca burgers. There's going to be orca food truck. All the food's going to be orca. No.
Cool.
We don't eat orca. It's January 7th through 9th at the Hilton Bellevue. Surprise, because that's where things happen.
It's fun. It's fun, you guys. If you haven't been in OrcaCon,
yes,
you got to go.
There's games, there's food trucks. Hopefully everything stays cool and things get better. But yeah.
Please be vaccinated.
Yes. For God's sakes. Stop ruining it for the rest of us.
Yes.
Right?
Did I see that?
Come on. So
OrcaCon was the very first con I ever went to.
It was the very first con I ever went to.
Yeah. It was a good experience. I'm less intimidated after going to OrcaCon, and everyone's so freaking friendly and nice and welcoming.
Exactly.
And of course, we will be there as well.
We will be there.
Who's this behind me? Oh, look, it's Blue Samurai.
Yeah. Now you know why I'm not so smart anymore.
His mind was flayed.
So, Rebeculous.
Yes, sir.
Some game
Mr.
news.
Samurai. I do.
Hang on. What are you drinking there, Rebeculous?
We have ourselves a Sam Smith oatmeal chocolate stout.
That's very nice. I'm drinking a Firestone Walker Union Jack.
Oh, that's very nice also.
And I'm drinking water.
Oh. Woo! I don't know. It's an opaque container. Are you drinking water? Are you? All right. So I have been watching a lot of Vikings things. We're watching the show Vikings. We watched The Last Empire. I've been into this, and I'm really getting into this. So that's what I made the theme of my gaming news today, which was not hard because there's a lot of Vikings games out there. And there's a lot of RPGs. And so I tried to do the non-RPG games because I just think they're more fun. I like cards and board games and stuff. So I have chosen these games. First one is called Raid. It is a simple card game. These are all on Kickstarter. This one's actually already funded, but it looks really nice and concise. It's called Raid. It's a card game where you build longboats with Viking warrior cards. You attack and destroy enemy longboats, and you deal raid damage to their village. It's quick to learn, about 20 minutes to play, 2 to 4 players, 14 and up. That is right up my lane. That's exactly the kind of games I love to play. Yes. Basically, you take control of a Norse god. You have a few to choose from, and you draft and draw warriors to your clan. The goal is to, like I said, destroy the other players' longboats, raid the other players' villages, and the player with the least amount of raid damage at the end of the game wins. And it's very cute.
Raid like the stuff you spray at bugs?
Well, it's spelled the same, and maybe you could probably use the card deck and kill bugs that way also. Okay. So yes, and not the same smelly smell as the raid killer. So that is, let's see, who did that? That Raid is created by, it's out of LA, and it is created by who? Who created you, Raid? Modern Games.
People.
Modern Games created it. Anyway, that looks nifty to me. And this next one looked also really cute. It's called Langskip. And it is also a 20 to 30 minute game, ages 8+ and 2 to 4 players. It is your
Langskip.
Okay. Langskip. And that is brought to us by Crab Studios. And it is from Britain. The British people created Langskip. It is a 2 to 4 player bluffing game. You can Yes, on your turn, you use the power of the gods to guide you through the 4 realms quicker than your opponents by playing one of the 2 cards in your hand face down. Still, the other players must choose whether to believe that you played the card you said or accuse you of mischief and reveal that card for everyone to see. If your accusation is successful, you gain a mischief token. If you lie successfully without being accused, you gain a mischief token. Mischief tokens, you guessed it, are used to make Loki and his children stronger, giving you an even better chance of arriving at Asgard first. And by the way, if y'all haven't watched Loki yet, you need to watch it because it's great. So that's it. Will you be mischievous, or will you keep everyone on the worthy path and reap the benefits of their ill deeds? That is also pretty much fully backed. Why? Because it looks really cool and people can tell a cool game when they see it. Langskip. Number 3. This was my favorite one, perhaps just because of the name and the cool artwork, which hopefully is showing right now. It's called All Thingy, like all thing with an I at the end, All Thingy. And I just absolutely love it. All Thingy is brought to us by Joshua Gillingham, and it is more than pledged, but you pledge a little more and you get extra kind of cool stuff.
You do.
So freedom is dearer to you than silver. So you have escaped the tyranny of Harald Finehair in Norway by sailing your longship to Iceland. You know in your heart that the gods will grant you good fortune with your own copy of All Thingy. And let's see here. It's you're the Icelandic. Basically, it takes place in 931 AD in Iceland. The Icelandic chieftains that hold power in each district meet every year at the Thingvellir, which is the assembly field. I thought they made these words up, but these are actual. I know, the All Thingy and the Thingvellir. That's probably where we got the word thing from, is these guys. But yes, Thingvellir is the assembly field for the All Thingy. Let's go to the Thingvellir and have the All Thingy.
Yes.
Each player takes the role of a powerful Icelandic chieftain and aims to gain the greatest influence at the All Thingy through bribery, extortion, and, if needed, bloodshed, because there always is. Yes. Yeah. So again, another nice little concise card game. Cards only, super portable. I love it. Just a couple more. Again, super cute. Card game plus, no, just cards in this one too. Another portable little game called Days to Ragnarok. And that is from James Fenwick. It is a game of fragile alliances and utter tomfoolery. And hopefully Polly will have this visual up here because it's a cute little thing. It's cute little illustrations of cute little Vikings with stick legs. And they compete for loot as Ragnarok approaches. It is a card game for 3 to 6 players.
Ragnarok's a party.
Ragnarok is a party, which segues into my last one. Ragnarok and roll. No,
Oh, nice.
I'm sorry. Well, yes, it's Ragnarok Star. All one word, Ragnarok Star. Still,
Wow.
Paul, you will love this.
I'm sure.
Earn your place in Valhalla as the greatest rock band of all time. This is from who I can't see it right offhand, but Odin has promised Valhalla to the rock band that gives the greatest concert of all time. 4 Viking bands are ready for the challenge, but they have no fans. Your mission is clear. Book the hottest venues and battle your competition to gain fans and fame so that you may be called the greatest Ragnarok star.
Wow.
All right, hold on. Let me just make sure who Pert and Fracas. Pert and Fracas created that game. And they still need a little bit of money, and you still have a little bit of time. So give them money because it looks really, really fun. Actually, I think I'm probably gonna put some money in for this and get this game.
You know who doesn't need money?
Blue Samurai.
I'm guessing he needs money. The creators of Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, currently on Kickstarter, they are at $3.5 million of their $50,000 goal.
Million? Are you serious?
$3.5 million. Yes. Well,
how does that happen?
Avatar: The Last Airbender is a very popular anime series.
Wow.
It's really good. We have a very close friend who loves it, named Asha. And it's they got 25 days to go, and it looks good.
Since they got like 3 million, is it like solid gold playing pieces and such? Or I mean, goals. My gosh,
there's dice and stuff. I think everything's a little bit overpriced for the levels, but hey, you know what? They're making their money, and I'm sure it's great.
Cool. One more time. What's it called?
Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. It's not Avatar, the dumb blue people from the dumb movie with the unobtainium or raritanium. One of those is Ratchet and Clank. One of those.
Oh, you're gonna get some hate mail for that one.
There's the dumb James Cameron movie.
Still, Paul is against blue people, by the way, or any people of color.
I hate gamelons.
Blue Samurai. Why do we keep doing these podcasts with our racist friend?
And by the way, you did miss another Kickstarter. It's a Kickstarter that Geeks of Cascadia is going to do. And you just pledge, and we will come to your house and teach you how to do a podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because we're so successful.
A funny podcast.
So just to let you know, in mainstream tabletop game news, I just want to briefly hit real quick because it's going to happen next month. We got the first of 3 books coming out by Wizards of the Coast, the Dungeons and Dragons line, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which comes out September 21st. Make sure, please go to your game store and pick up the cover, the alt cover.
Yeah, go to the game store.
They've been hurting
a lot
gosh during COVID. Some have been doing really well, but we happen to know, our group, of some folks that were not doing so well. So please go pick up that book from them. They would really appreciate it. So that's September 21st.
And it doesn't matter if you can find it online for cheaper. Go to the game store.
Yes.
Help them out.
And you can get an alt cover, which you cannot get online. But the Wild Beyond Witchlight is a adventure set in the Feywild. So that should be very interesting. In fact, I DM'd my crew. They went to the Feywild. You might remember they ran into a unicorn that was really into fitness. And then you've got Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos. That is a Magic the Gathering setting, but it will be in Dungeons and Dragons campaign book. Think Harry Potter, but dangerous, more dangerous, and
less cute.
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Now you're gonna get the hate mail from the Harry Potter fans.
I know.
Stop
we're gonna get
alienating everybody, you guys.
So much emails. And then Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. I am looking very forward to that one. So check that out. That's October the 19th. Fizban's Treasury of Dragons come out October the 19th. Again, get that from your bookstore. Get the alt cover. Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos. That comes out November 16th. Get that at your bookstore. So really, that's all we got for game news.
If you want to tell me I'm wrong for hating James Cameron's Avatar, go ahead and email me at geeksofcascadia@gmail.com and say still Paul is a jerk and he hates James Cameron and Avatar.
Or you could just present your case for Avatar, and if we agree with you, then you will replace Still Paul on our podcast.
Yes, that'd be great. All right, so with that, shall we listen to what Amy has to say?
Yes, but once again, let's just clarify that we did this interview before the Delta variant and stuff about the things that are happening at Dragonflight, and maybe they're not happening that way now.
What is it, Paul? Like this? How did it go?
Like this.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not a member of
the Delta. I know people.
Are you sure it's not an A for Amy? Look, it's an A for Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
we're sinking
here.
Let's talk to Amy from Dragonflight.
This segment of the podcast is sponsored by Dragonflight, a tabletop games convention dedicated to promoting the educational and social benefits of gaming in the Pacific Northwest. Sign up now for the August 24th through 26th convention at the Bellevue Hilton at dragonflight.org. Now back to our show.
Hey geeks, Blue Samurai here, and I'm
still Paul.
Yes, and guess what? We're interviewing our very special guest. Amy, you have been with us multiple times from the very beginning. I appreciate that. You still haven't shooed us away or denied us an interview or anything, so thank you very much.
Sure.
Of course, Amy is with Dragonflight Convention. And I just this is kind of funny. We talked about this before we started, but last year you came on our show to talk about the big Dragonflight convention. And unfortunately, I guess there was something that was going on.
Yeah.
And we had to cancel that. And of course we had to cancel OrcaCon too. So, I think pretty much every convention around the world had to cancel their convention.
Yeah, it was a pretty bare year, that's for sure.
But you're back.
We are back. We are back. And we're excited. And people seem to be excited. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. We are back, but we're back in October instead of August this year.
And this is a one-time
this is a one-time deal. Okay. And it just worked out. Trying to figure out timing with giving people time to get vaccines, and the hotel was able to offer us a little bit of a deal on moving if we moved to October. And that gave us more time to prep. We were kind of coming up on a point where it was going to get real sticky. Right. So we made the move.
And just to let our viewers and listeners know, it's a Dragonflight convention this year will be at October 29th through the 31st at the Bellevue Hilton. You can go online right now at dragonflight.org and register
Yes, you can.
And I just want you to know, Amy, that I got my room.
You're so good.
I got my room.
I love it.
Because I'm one of the folks that makes you feel better when you look at your room count and go, oh, thank God.
Oh.
Yeah.
People buying rooms.
Yeah, that's actually that was one of the concerns we had. And we're about, I think the last time I checked, we're about halfway to our necessary room count. So we're doing well.
And just to kind of push it with those out there who are listening in because they want to know what's going on with Dragonflight this year is get your rooms early, man, because I don't know how many times I've ran into people, and it's happened to me where it's like, you know what, I'll just do it. I'll do it 30 days before. And the next thing you know, all the rooms are sold out.
If I'm lucky, the block will be full.
Right.
There is another event happening in the hotel that weekend that's taken a couple of the spaces that we normally use. So they may also be taking up rooms. I mean, it's not a huge event, but
Right. But I have found that if you go into the men's room and just hang out in one of the stalls, and nobody checks on you. So
really,
that's how I was able to get through one year without a room.
Now I'm going to have to send volunteers into the bathrooms. Thanks a lot. That's great.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So just tell us, maybe, well, just so we just get that out of the way, is like registration costs and.
Registration is, we're back at tabletop.events. They survived.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness. We're very happy about that. It's $55 for the 3-day badge. And there's also day options available. If you just want to come one day, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Kids 12 and under are again free with a paying adult. Let's see. I think room nights at the Hilton, I want to say it's $129 for a double queen.
You know what? I got your back because I just pulled it up on my computer here. So we got 2 queen beds for $129 a night, 1 king bed, same price. And then this is confusing because I didn't know this the last time, but it's called 2 queen beds high floor or 1 king bed high floor. When it's high floor,
better view.
Yeah, better
of
view.
Downtown Bellevue and 405.
It's also gets you into the secure that floor where you need a card to get in. Other places you don't need the card to get on that.
Is that for the higher floors?
The high floor, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ever pay attention. By the time I go to my room, I'm tired. So whatever. Yeah. So, and we opened up game submissions. Submissions. That opened on Monday, and they've been coming in. People are putting stuff in the system. People are ready to go.
Great.
So that's good. Game signups will open probably last weekend in August, 1st of September. We need time to get actual games in the system before we have people sign up for games. So that gives us a little bit of time to kind of get that moving. It also gives us a little bit of time to figure out, we've had a lot of questions about whether we're going to limit attendance or, are we going to do anything like that? So far, the plan is not to do that, but we don't really have a grasp at this moment on what our attendance is going to look like. I think the last time I checked badge sales a couple days ago, we were at around 220. Now there are, on top of that, there's about 80 more pre-regs from last year that haven't transferred their badges yet. So with those, we could be looking at almost 300 already registered, which is above where we would be at the same point in time at previous cons. So it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. We're just kind of watching it day by day and seeing where we end up. Like I said, we do have 2 spaces that we're not going to have this year that we normally have. 2 of the rooms down the hall behind the bar are being used for a different event. We have the 3rd one, but not those other 2. And those are normally used for RPGs.
Yeah.
Tournaments.
Yeah. Do you see the Adventurers League coming back around for?
We don't know if it's going to be official Adventurers League or if it's just going to be organized D&D.
Oh, okay.
My understanding, and my RPG person is the one who kind of deals with that and tells me who's going to come.
Right.
But my understanding is that there have been some issues with the way Adventurers League has been running or getting it up. I don't know exactly what's going on. It just sounds to me there's been some complications or some issues. So I don't know if it's going to be official Adventurers League or if it, like I said, is just going to be D&D scheduled gaming.
And Amy, what is the COVID policy for this con? Anyway?
Well, our COVID policy is basically you have 2 options. And this is all we based our COVID policy on the guidelines that were published that were sent out to the hotels and stuff for large groups by the state. So we basically just used the majority of their policy, which is if you are vaccinated, you're good to go, but you do need to come when you check in to get your badge, you have to provide proof of vaccination. So you just need to show us your vaccine card. You can show us a picture of your vaccine card. You can show us a photocopy of your vaccine card. You just have to show us that you have been vaccinated. If you are medically unable for some reason to get the vaccine, if you have an exemption, obviously you do not have to show us a vaccine card, but you do have to provide a vaccine or a negative COVID-19 test that was taken within 72 hours of the opening of the con.
Okay.
Let this be proof. Let this be proof.
There you go. And that applies to all the way down to kids, well, basically to any adult. So kids 12 and under, obviously, that does not apply to the negative COVID test applies to them, unless they're 2 or younger, and then they're good as long as their parent has been vaccinated. But it does apply to the kids who can get vaccines now. So 12 and over. So like my 13-year-old was able to get vaccinated.
Are you the first? You seem to be the first con in the shoot after the.
Pretty much.
You're kind of the guinea pig on this. And by the way,
Washington Summer Con
happened.
And my husband and my son went, and they said it was packed. It was crazy. It was down at the Puyallup Fairgrounds, and they filled the parking lot, and there were tons of people.
Wow.
And I know that they did have COVID restrictions in place, but I don't know exactly I don't know if they were checking vaccine status or not. I think we're kind of the first one out of the chute who's really issued a COVID policy.
Right.
And we talked a lot about it, my staff, about, what exactly were we going to require? And for the most part, the response has been positive. Gotten a lot of people who said, thank you. This makes me way more comfortable. I'm really happy about this. I've had a few people who've been upset.
Yeah.
I've had I've been accused of violating HIPAA more than once, which, by the way, is not true. And also I got somebody who decided to tell me that requiring people, because there are a group of people that consider the COVID vaccine to be experimental, and that is in violation of the Nuremberg Accords.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been accused of committing a war crime. I don't know. But anyway, it's been interesting. But for the most part, everybody has been really positive. People who don't want to comply have just said, I'm not going to come this year. And that's fine. We have to do what we can to keep, and it's not just about the attendees, it's about my staff.
Yeah.
Which is a huge concern for me. I'm not going to ask my staff to put themselves in danger. I mean, my staff I'm pretty sure everyone at this point has been vaccinated. That's a requirement for my staff as well. But that was a huge thing. I guess the one thing I didn't mention about the policy, we're not requiring masks if you've been vaccinated. You are still welcome to wear them. In all likelihood, there will be a number of my staff who probably will wear them all weekend, just and with the Delta variant, it's like, it's a little questionable.
Well, let me just say that this is, of course, my personal opinion, but good job for you. I know this was controversial. You went out. I mean, you're kind of the first in the shoot. You did this. You put a stake in the ground. I think it's the right move.
It's a really hard thing the hardest thing is we're all volunteers, right? Who get paid for this?
Right.
But yet I'm in charge. So, and I'm not just the convention director, I'm the president of Dragonflight too. So there's another, and I'm a board member. So there's like a couple extra layers of responsibility there. It's like, you go back and forth about the right thing to do, and you want to do the right thing you want to keep people safe, but you don't want to infringe. And it's like you go back and forth with yourself. What's the best thing? What's the best thing? And at a certain point, you just have to go, here's what we're going to do. And there are some people who are going to be angry at me, and that's okay.
I have seen, I've looked at the social media, Dragonflight social media, and I have seen some ugly people out there.
Yes.
Some ugly people.
I had
you know what?
I had to do a little smackdown earlier in the year. I had to pull out the mom voice.
Well, and you know what? They don't have to show up. And I'm glad. I think this is a filtering process for a-holes that we don't need. So good for you.
Thank you. It's been it's been interesting. But again, I've had way less angry focused at me than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot more cranky. So I got a lot more happy than a lot more cranky.
Well, I think Paul can agree with me. I think a lot of folks that, we game with are, we believe in science.
Yes.
We're a little progressive on these things, so yeah.
It's interesting with the folks that are around that are progressive tend to be very progressive, right?
Yes.
The ones who aren't really aren't.
Yes.
And there's a significant, we could talk more about who those people are and how I see that falling, but I don't want to do generalities because that's not always true.
Yeah.
Well, you can join us on our.
I work in grocery, so I'm around the general public all of the time, and there's always going to be people that are unhappy.
Oh yeah.
No matter what you do.
Oh yeah. No. I know that, and that's and this is what, year 7 for me.
Yeah.
Running the convention, I have officially double outlasted anybody else who's ever run Dragonflight. No one else has ever done more than 3 years in a row.
Wow.
I've been informed. I told the board last year, I said, you do understand that this Dragonflight belongs to me now. This is mine.
So Amy, let's talk about the actual, what is going on in these 3 days. Maybe you can tell us what's going on in each room and everything. So
well, obviously we're still at the beginning planning stages. So there's a lot of things that we don't know yet. Because we're going to be in October, we're not going to have the Boffer tourney probably because we can't assume the weather will be conducive to being outside. So unfortunately, that will go by the wayside this year, which is sad, but it's kind of necessary because I can't guarantee it's not going to be rainy and gross outside. Let's see. We will have the family activity area, which will be in Redmond room again, probably downstairs right off of registration. Mm-hmm. So the kid game library will be in there. There'll be dress up stuff, books, coloring, all kinds of stuff for families to kind of go in and do. Hopefully we'll get some scheduled family gaming going on in there. With the lack of conventions and everything, the extra time people have had, Kickstarter has been hopping when it comes to game designers in the last 12 to 18 months. And we have added a significant number of games to our library. Significant. Mm-hmm. So our lending library this year, not just in the family activities area, but in the regular game library, is going to be humongous.
Great. Cool. And the games library will be in the same place, I assume.
The game library?
Yeah.
I moving forward, we're having conversations about relocating the library and a lot of open gaming out into the covered garage area, but it'll be too cold for that in October. Yeah. So because we just need more space and there's nowhere else for us to grow. But again, next year, this year, the game library will still be in the main ballroom area. Right. And there'll be 1 or 2 open tables there for gaming, but then we'll try to put open tables everywhere we can for folks to be able to just stop and play. We never have enough, it seems, but we do our best. open gaming downstairs by the, scheduled and open, kind of a mix. You need to look, obviously, there's always a game schedule posted on the table so you can see when tables are open and when they've been reserved. So we'll be doing that. The Alexandria Game Library will be back.
Yay.
I've already talked to them. So they'll be back with us again this year in their normal spot on the first floor behind the elevator bay. We are having an auction this year. Auction intake will be in the normal space, which is King County 1 on the first floor. But the actual auction will move up to Skyview. I decided that because that gives us room to spread out and not have to pack everybody into King County 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Which, even though with the restrictions, feels a little, you're too close to me, back up. So it'll let us spread out a little bit, I think, which will be good. And it's potentially going to be a very large auction. Steve Graham, who was a very essential part of Dragonflight, passed back in
friend of mine.
2019.
Yeah.
And I have been helping his sister and his mother go through his stuff to try and, get stuff dealt with. We currently have Steve's whole game library that will be auctioned.
Oh boy.
One way or another. There are a handful of games that Dragonflight is making an outright offer to his family for, to add to our library, but it's close to 300 games.
Jeez.
Wow.
So that will all be going in the auction. So that right there, that's starting. That's a huge, and then whatever else people have decided to clean out of their closets that they want to bring for the auction this year.
Right.
So potentially could be a huge, giant auction that could take way longer than normal. I don't know. We'll see. In addition to that, I believe, and we've talked about it, I haven't confirmed with his sister and his mom, but they're going to be here in August, and we'll talk about it. But we've also gone through Steve's storage, and we've cataloged and organized all the books. And it's a question about how do we effectively just get rid of all of these? Like, what do we do with them? Half price books is a difficult concept right now because they're taking like 2 boxes at a time.
Yeah.
And we're talking about close to 2,000 books.
Wow.
But Steve's interests and those interests of many Dragonflight participants overlap, as I'm sure you could imagine.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So I think what we're going to do is have a book sale at the con, where we'll have Steve's stuff available to purchase, and then all that money will go to his family.
Wow.
So.
Nice.
And then whatever's left over, we'll deal with if we have to take stuff to half price books or whatnot. But I think a lot of what he has will be popular and easily movable amongst our attendees. So there will be a Steve Graham Memorial section of the auction and a Steve Graham Memorial book sale. Let's see, what else are we doing? RPGs. We're going to try something different this year. So normally we have Vancouver, Cascades, and Chelan up behind the bar.
Yep.
Those rooms where we have most of the RPGs scheduled. RPG players are an interesting group. Some of the people who run RPGs don't want to be next to this other person who runs an RPG. They're like, they're too loud. I don't want to sit next to them.
Yeah.
And some RPGs can be very loud.
I get
Some RPGs can be loud, and that's disturbing to other RPGs that are not. So I'm going to talk to the hotel, and my hope is that we normally run 10 general RPG tables. So my hope is that those tables are going to be rooms. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the hotel move the beds out of the rooms and put tables.
Okay.
Each room will be an individual RPG table.
Clever.
Wow.
So you don't have to listen to anybody's conversation about whatever their RPG is doing. You've got your own room. You've got your own thing. You can it's quiet or it's loud. You don't have to worry about disturbing anybody else or being disturbed by anybody else. So I'm hoping that's going to work. It costs us a little bit of money, but I think in the long run, it might work out best and it might make everybody happy.
What do you look? I mean, how many rooms are you thinking about?
10.
Wow.
One for each table.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then obviously D&D and Pathfinder are their own thing, and they're all playing the same type of game, so we don't worry about putting them in the same room together. These are the individual tables, you know, where you've got varying games happening, but they're all RPG. It also means that those rooms open up to be used for not just RPG, but for things like story games.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little more flexibility involved, because like putting a story game at a table next to a bunch of RPG tables in the same room doesn't really work as well.
Yeah.
It's a noise level and stuff. It also gives us some flexibility when it comes to things like 2 rooms and a boom. You know, we're like, oh, well, we're going to use these 2 RPG rooms for the 2 rooms and a boom. Because often that's a difficult, you know, because they need 2 distinct spaces. Right. So we'll see how that works out. Beyond that, I mean, it's kind of the standard, you know, the general gaming will be in the ballroom. I think we'll put a lot of the war games will end up in Kirkland again. That seemed to work well, having that as a war game annex. Some will obviously still end up in the ballroom as well, but some of those games are, you know, they set up once and they run all weekend, so they need a place where they can just permanently be. Moving the auction up to Skyview also means that we have King County 2 and 3 for the whole weekend. We don't have to vacate King County 2 for the auction setup. So in all likelihood, either Pathfinder or some of the D&D will end up down there because they won't be in Skyview like they've been. So there's going to be a little flip-flopping going on, but I think it'll work out okay. It's just going to be different. And then in August, next year, we're kind of back to our normal, although some of the changes in locations might stick depending on how things work out. Right. We're always trying to find the best.
I assume the vendors are going to be at the same place. Do you have any idea which vendors have been approved at this point?
I haven't approved any vendors at this point. So my vendor coordinator is she's out of the country with her military unit. So I don't have a vendor coordinator this year, so I'm kind of doing the job. I have someone to run the room when we're there, but the pre-work is I'm handling right now. Okay. So I haven't opened vendor applications yet. I'm not going to do that until the 19th of this month.
Okay.
So then that'll be open. I've had inquiries from people.
Yeah.
But I haven't taken any applications and haven't approved anybody yet. I probably won't. We'll take applications for 4 to 6 weeks and then make decisions. So I know that Dragonstorm will be back. In all likelihood, Zuccotti. Who else?
Around the table, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I haven't talked to Tim.
Or Games Plus or.
Yeah, I again haven't spoken to any of them. I mean, I think it's likely that a lot of our standards will probably be back. But again, I don't know yet. And I don't know how a lot of people came through the pandemic and, who decided not to continue and who stuck with it. The vendor, I belong to a number of vendor groups because I'm a vendor, but mine is a hobby business. And a lot of people, this is what they do for a living. And a lot of them had to change. I know there are a number of vendors on the groups I'm in that they were so successful doing online only that they're not going to come back to cons at all. They're like, why? Wow. It's a huge hassle.
Yeah.
and it's a huge expense, and I'm making as much money online as I was doing cons. So again, we've had a number of inquiries, and I have the folks from last year and they'll be getting a notice from me letting them know that the applications will be open on the 19th, and then we'll see how many we get. And we'll.
So what about our organizations that we typically see there, like Playtest Northwest? Will we see them? Maybe
I've been in contact with Playtest Northwest. They are raring to come back.
Great.
So as far as I know, they'll be back and they'll be in their same little area when you come in the ballroom. We love to have them. Outside of that, you know, the organizations kind of vary on a year-to-year basis. I know OrcaCon is not attending as an organization anymore. I think we've had Game to Grow in the past, and hopefully Adam and Adam will be back with Game to Grow. They're a really good organization, and I'd really like to have them back. Outside of that, I mean, it's whoever contacts me and says they're interested, and then us having whether we have space for them or not.
Right.
So, which is, of course, with us is always at a premium.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So, you know, lots of things the same, lots of things different, and it's just gonna be a play by ear kind of thing for a lot of it, figuring out.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because I mean, I couldn't tell you. I know we're still doing OrcaCon. I couldn't tell you how many people are going to show up. I mean, the pandemic just really threw a giant monkey wrench into everything, and so it's a big unknown.
You just don't know what people's comfort level is.
Right.
You know, who still wants to do that, who doesn't. You know, and you don't know how that's going to, not just this year, but how that's going to affect us moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, if we hit 500 people, I'll be ecstatic. And that's about half of what we were running prior.
Right.
So, you know, I'm like, great, 500 is great. Will we go more than that? Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? I mean, it's possible as we get into the fall and more people have finished their vaccinations and they're ready to go, and they're comfortable because things have been happening, and so they've been going to more things, and so they're more comfortable, and so then they're like, oh well, okay, I'm okay to do this. Just no way to know. Gotta just kind of hope for the best. But yeah, that's part of the reason we moved to October. It gives people a little more time.
Right, a little more. And since you moved to October, I can actually go because I'll be out of the country. Out of the country, but out of the state.
You weren't going to be able to come?
I wasn't. Yeah, in August. So now I can.
Well, that's good. I'm sorry that neither of your boys is going to make it.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Next year.
Yeah.
Life happens.
It certainly does. They get older. They've grown up in that con.
I know. Mine's going to turn 21 in August, and I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
I don't know how I have a 21-year-old.
Still, Paul, do you have any?
Yeah, I pretty much covered my questions. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
If folks want to read it, the COVID policy is on the website, so they can certainly go to the website and check that. And there are links to tabletop on the website as well if they want to register, or if they're interested in hosting a game. All the information is out there.
Dragonflight.org.
That is correct. Yeah.
So, Amy, how do we get a hold of you? What are the different social media stuff that you have for Dragonflight?
Facebook. Which is under Dragonflight Convention. We do have a Twitter, but it's not real active. I'm still trying to recruit a social media person for the con. We're on Discord now, which is under Dragonflight Convention as well, I believe. And we're going to try to utilize that a little more for things like information to go out to our game hosts and stuff. We're going to try to utilize Discord for that, as well as an easy way to get a hold of people. And then there's also the website, obviously, and email. So you can email info@dragonflight.org. You can email registration@dragonflight.org. You can email conventiondirector@dragonflight.org.
And they'll go to the same person, I imagine.
I see everything that comes through all of the email addresses. So yes, you more than likely are going to get me who answers your emails for info or for registration. Because I also don't know if I have a registration manager this year.
Oh, no.
Staff's been a little, things fell apart and people fell away. So we're a little short on staff this year. So I'm working on that. If people are interested in volunteering, we would love that. Volunteering either before the con, during the con, or both. And they can email volunteers@dragonflight.org.
Nice.
Andrea is my wonderful volunteer coordinator. And if you're interested in a staff position, I have a number of those that are available as well. So I would love to talk to anybody who is interested in getting involved in running cons and learning how things work. Like I said, I need a reg manager. The majority of that responsibility happens at the con itself, running the reg desk. I need a social media manager. I need a marketing manager. So, if folks are interested and want to get involved, I got things that they can do. So.
All right.
Great.
Well, thanks a lot, Amy. And
Of
just to let people know out there, Paul and I and Rebeculus, who could not make it today, will be at the convention. Again, reminder, October 29, 30, and 31 at the Bellevue Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
And Geeks of Cascadia is going to be your audio program, if you will. So we'll have our podcast Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then we'll do probably a wrap up Sunday.
Cool.
So if you want to know what's going on that particular day at Dragonflight, listen to us, and we'll tell you what's going on, what's being played, kind of the highlights, and hopefully maybe we can get Amy. She's probably going to be stressed out, but maybe Amy will be on there, or maybe
I hope not.
designee.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Because we love being your unofficial podcast for
Love it.
Dragonflight.
Love it.
That we've done each year. So thank you.
Yay.
Yep.
Great.
So,
Awesome.
And you take care.
I will. You too.
And we will see you at Dragonflight.
Yes,
Definitely.
you will. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
This section of the podcast is brought to you by Around the Table, Linwood's premier game store and hangout for game lovers of all ages. Buy a game, play one of ours, or join us for a drink. Whichever you choose, you'll have a great time. Around the Table Game Pub. Now back to our show.
Oh my gosh. I really wish I was there for that. I'm really sad that I missed that interview. That looked really cool. You guys got to have a nice little conversation with her, and I wish I could have been there.
Amy's great. Amy knows what she's doing. And here's
Looking forward to the convention.
Together.
Looking forward to the convention.
Yes.
And just to let our subscribers know, we do have subscribers, surprisingly. Please stay with us. We are trying to do better on getting these. Again, a lot of this is based upon content. We're hoping that when we go to OrcaCon and Dragonflight and these other conventions that we're going to run into game designers, which we usually do. And being here in the Pacific Northwest, we do run into quite a bit of them.
We do.
Just like, go in the men's room and there's right there,
I know. I find that all the time when I go to the men's room. All the time. Usually they just don't even pay any attention to me. They just, but yeah. It's true.
Well,
we'll spend a long time in the
great
men's
when we run out of toilet paper. Because I go, hey, Rebeculus, I'm out of toilet paper.
And I don't have a square to spare.
Underneath.
Yeah. Oh, I would never hand a roll over. You don't know women very well. You get a square. I get the rest of the roll.
Just a square. Jeez.
That's a square. Sorry.
But
that's a Seinfeld reference for anyone who's old enough.
Okay, one at a time here. We're hoping to get some more podcasting in.
Yes. And we got some probably some more game reviews that we could probably do, and definitely
we can. I have a list of things that I purchased that I wanted to play, but then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, we gotta play some. We gotta play some games. We gotta play some games, you guys. Some actual games.
We've been playing D&D. Unfortunately, our game got canceled.
Oh,
Yeah. I showered and everything, man. I was ready. I showered.
Very unhappy.
I sat down. I logged on, and who's there? Still
just
Paul.
me.
And
Just
nobody
me.
else.
Waiting for people to give them the bad news.
Hmm.
Didn't talk to Bill at all.
No.
It's not good.
Technology.
Bill found out.
This whole pandemic thing, like, this is pretty cool being able to Zoom as, when we want. But then, there's ups and downs to both. Like, I realized that I like the Zooming for certain things, but I also really like the in-person, obviously.
Well, with the in-person, there's cats.
The in-person, we have cats. We have like 4 cats when we're in person at our DM's house. But the Zooming, obviously, I can just wear my Simpsons boxer shorts and not have to worry about leaving the house.
The waist down right now.
That's okay. Time to go. Bye, everybody. That's great.
I'm full tubing.
What?
Well, I'm looking forward to doing a review of Dungeon the Mad Mage. That's going to be
yes, me too. Awesome. It's fun.
Because we're going all the way to 20th level. At least that's the hope.
Are we? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't think I have anything. Does anyone have anything interesting?
Well, there's not much. Go to orcacon.org and get your badge and book your room at a discount. Get the executive level if that's still left. That's free breakfast.
I'm raising my hand because I have a question.
Yes. What's your question?
So what if somebody gets their room and gets their ticket and it's a no-go because of COVID?
Then, you're just reserving the room. You're going to cancel that.
Okay.
OrcaCon badge, I don't know if there's refunds or not.
They probably roll it over. I know Dragonflight
probably roll it over. Or there's information on the website.
Okay. It's all current and whatnot. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
OrcaCon.org. Check it out. It's January, plenty of time.
Yeah.
For the E variant to come out.
Yeah, right. God. The Q variant by the time October rolls around.
COVID 21.
Sure.
Ooh. Bro, someone should make a game.
That. Just stop that now.
Someone should make a game, by the way.
I think they did. I think there's actually several.
Probably,
I chose not to select that for any game reviews because that's just, it's not something I wish to focus on.
Well, I guess I don't have anything else. I can't wait to see you guys again.
Can't wait to see you either.
Soon.
When we see people again.
Yes. So with that,
we will be the table at Dragonflight with the big crowd around it because of our interviews with gaming stars. That's where we'll be. That's where they can find us at Dragonflight, right? Yeah.
And that's October 29th, the 30th, and 31st.
Yes. Hopefully David Gerard will be there because he always likes to talk to us.
And you'll be able to finish on the 31st and still have time for trick-or-treating, right? Sure you will.
I guess if that's your jam.
Don't you like to get free candy from strangers?
Don't
you still trick or treat,
or people in general?
Well, I think I should shut this down now. So embrace the nerd, and I hope you make that saving.
Me too. I do.